Very good morning. So in this particular video lesson, we are going to discuss about that agronomic principles pertaining to that seed production. So in the previous video lessons, we discussed about that genetic principles related to that seed production. So in these agronomic principles, these agronomic principles and all we have to follow mainly to ensure that physical and physiological quality parameters of the seeds. Genetic principles are needed mainly for maintaining that genetic purity and genetic purity related matter, whereas agronomic principles are related to the maintenance of the physiological and physical quality of the seeds. In that so many things are there, we can see one by one. So the first thing is selection of suitable agroclimatic conditions. So this is very important. So already we discussed that the factors affecting varietal variations. In that the first point itself, we have to cultivate that appropriate variety in their area of adaptations. So similarly here also we have to cultivate the crop in their area of adaptations, and also that during that particular seasons. So the season and all suitable for that particular crop means there only we have to take up that seed production. Or otherwise what will happen is if you try to cultivate that crop in the area of non-adoption or in the inappropriate climate means there won't be any problem with reference to that crop establishment. The crop will be established, but there will be a problem with reference to seed set and seed formations. If at all any seeds are formed, so in those seeds we cannot have that appropriate that physical purity and all, that size, shape and color and everything will be some differences will be recorded. So that will create some sort of problem with reference to that physical purity maintenance. So in order to overcome these particular problems, we have to select appropriate climate and appropriate conditions for raising of the seed crop. Then second one is selection of seed plot or land requirement. So selection of the land for raising of the seed crop. So this is also very important. So already that seed certification department, they are having a norm with reference to the land selection. So based on their norms, so the selected land should not be cultivated with other variety of the same crop in the previous season. So I want to repeat this one. The selected land for cultivation of that seed crop for this current year should not be cultivated with other variety of the same crop in the previous season. Say example, if you try to cultivate Trichy 1 paddy for this current year for seed purpose means the land should not be cultivated with other variety of the paddy in the previous seasons. Suppose the selected land is cultivated with other variety of the same crop in the previous season means definitely there will be a pollen seeds in the soil. So those seeds will be germinated in the current season, so that will create some sort of problem with reference to that genetic purity maintenance. So to avoid that one, at any cost, we must be very careful with reference to that land selection. So because of that seed certification people, they are insisting that the selected land should not be cultivated with other variety of the same crop in the previous season. So that is a thing. So that all we have to take into account. Similarly, that some of the crops like that pulses and groundnut, that soil-borne disease related problem is a major problem, particularly root rot is a major problem. So the selected land should not have the macropomena incidents or fusarium incidents. So that also very important. That and all crop specific land requirements. So these are all the things we have to take into consideration during that selection of land for seed production purpose. The third item is isolation. So this is a very important operation as far as that seed production is concerned. So this is mainly to ensure the genetic purity of the our seed material. So our seed crop should be isolated from the possible genetic contaminants. So many possible contaminants are there, genetic contaminants are there, like volunteer plants, hop types and objectionable weeds and wire relatives. So these are all the material able to pollinate with our seed crops, so that causes problem for our seeds with reference to that genetic purity. So in order to avoid these particular problems, that agronomically we have to plan to isolate our seed crop from other possible contaminants. So already we discussed about the different type of isolation. So the same thing here we have to follow. So if possible you can follow that space isolations or distance isolation, that is leaving some space in between that our seed crop and possible contaminants. Say example, this is your seed crop. In the case of paddy, varietal seed production means that this particular field is raised with other variety of the paddy means, and so this will be the possible genetic contaminants. So in order to have a seed with assured genetic purity, your seed crop, so these seed crops need to be isolated from the possible contaminants. So for this purpose we can leave some space. So in the case of paddy we are recommending 3 meter isolation distance. So 3 meter level there should not be any crop, so we have to leave some space. So if we follow these process, so this process of isolation is normally known as a space isolation. That another type of isolation is a time isolation. So this particular time isolation is recommended for non-tillering crops, the crops with non-tillering behavior, and the plant in which that determinate type of flowering is there. So in that particular crop only the time isolation is recommended. As on date, that seed certification department people, they are permitting to follow the time isolation only in the case of maize, not for the other crops. So here what we are going to do is we are going to raise that two different variety of the same crop the nearby area without leaving any space, but sowing time of these two variety, so this will be sown 1 week earlier than, if it is a maize means the 14 days earlier than this one. So after 14th day of sowing up this one, so this will be sown. So there will be a gap with reference to that establishment. So this will be at the flowering stage, at the time this will be in vegetative stage. So this will be attained at maturity, at the time this will be in a flowering stage. So the idea here is at any point of time that the flowering period of this particular crop and this particular crop should not be coincide. If it is coincide, at the time only there will be a pollen contaminations. So the flowering period of these two crops not going to coincide each other means there won't be any problem. So because of that, that time isolation is recommended only for the crop that have the determinate type of flowering on non-tillering nature. So the maize, that system is there. So because of that safely we are following that time isolation in the case of a maize. That another thing is the barrier isolations. So we are going to isolate our seed crop. Say example, this is a seed crop means if you consider this one is a possible contaminant, that other variety of the seed crop means we have to isolate our seed crops by the way of raising that barrier crops. So these are all tall growing crops. So whatever the crop selected for this purpose, that have the ability to grow 2.5 meter and above, so 2.5 meter height. So now we are commonly using that as Hispania and tall growing maize and all we are using. So that should be grown all along the four side of your seed crops, because that this side may be another variety, this may be another side another variety, this may be another variety, means from the all the four sides we have to raise that that barrier crops. So by that way we can isolate our crop from other possible contaminants. So this will trap the pollen grains produced by these particular contaminants. So this will prevent the reaching of these pollen grain to our seed crops. So that is the advantage of this one. So this is a very very important cultural operation as far as that seed crop production is concerned. Then the fourth one is purchase of that good quality seeds. So whether it's a grain production operation or a certificate seed production operation or foundation seed production operations, we have to use that quality declared seeds, quality assured seed material we have to use. Then only there will be a uniformity, then only you can follow that all the intercultural operation at a appropriate time. Say example, if it is whatever the seed used for sowing is genetically inferior, means one will be at flowering, one will be at a vegetative stage. Particularly in the case of pulses, during a 50% flowering time we have to apply the DAP. If you apply DAP, automatically we can convert all the flowers into a pod and seeds. Say example, the crop is in inferior material used, seed material means that some of the material in a vegetative, some of them are in a flowering time. If you apply DAP for the field means only that plant with the flowering alone, that DAP spray will be effective. The plant with that not at attain that flowering stage means there that a waste. Again we wanted to repeat that one. So this will make our cultivation operation much more costlier one. So in order to avoid all these kind of problems at for water, maybe that either it's a grain production or seed productions, we have to use quality declared seeds as a source seeds. And then the next point is that we have to use the optimum seed rate. So optimum quantity we have to use, and optimum quantity we have to use, and optimum spacing also we have to follow. So we have to maintain that optimum population. If it is a overpopulation, that also have a problem. If it is underpopulation, that also have a problem. So for getting a assured yield with the quality, we have to use that optimum seed rate with optimum spacing. And in some other crops we will go for the direct sowing of the seeds. So in this case the depth of sowing also very important. So in the case of with reference to that depth of sowing, that the 2.5 times that width of the seed. Say example, the width of the seed is 1 centimeter, means 1 into 2.5 centimeter equal to 2.5 centimeter. So 2.5 centimeter depth we have to sow that material. So we have to consider that width of the seeds. So from the width you have to multiply into 2.5. So 2 times the width of the original seeds. So that much depth we have to sow our seed material. In the case of large seeds, the seed large seed means, say example, the groundnut, lima bean, that's not bigger in size. In those cases we have to sow the seeds at a deeper. If it is a small seeds, we have to sow the seeds at a shallow depth. So this is also a very important operations. The another important thing is pre-sowing seed treatment. So before sowing of the seeds, that seeds should be infused with some nutrients. So definitely that will boost the germination potential and better seedling establishment, because most of the seeds we are standard we are using is that maybe that harvested 6 months before, or some other cases 1 year old seeds also we are using for sowing. So if it is stored for 6 months or 1 year, means during that storage period of time, so whatever that food material is available, part of a material may be utilized for its normal routine process. So the nutrients depletions will be there. Apart from that, for carrying out that routine respiration related activities, some catabolic activity will be take place. That catabolic activity leads to formation of some unwanted chemical substances with the seed system. So all those unwanted chemical substances are get settled within the seeds. In the case of human being, the same thing is happening. We are consuming the food. Whatever the food consumed, everything will undergo the respiration, glycolysis, that leads to generation of the ATP and generation of that waste material also. Human and animal, through the process of that excretion or through the process of sweating, we are removing all the unwanted substances formed through the regular routine catabolic activity. But in the case of seed system, so this kind of excretion is not possible. So because of that, whatever that broke down product are formed, whether it's a toxic or a useful one, everything will be settled within the seeds. So by the way of giving some appropriate pre-sowing seed treatment, if we are able to remove all those unwanted material from our seed, means definitely our seed performance will be very good in the field level. So for that purpose, we have a variety of seed treatments like seed hardening, seed pelleting, seed coating, seed priming, and biofortification with some useful microbes, and biocontrol agent treatment. Like that, so many treatments are there. So all those treatments we are going to discuss separately. So that seed treatment, free sowing treatment, that is before sowing, seed must be treated. So if you treat the seed with appropriate chemicals, automatically you can boost up the that growth and development of the that resultant seedlings. The next item is planting ratio. So this is most appropriate for the hybrid seeds. So in the case of variety and related cultivation, that is a very easy, because in the case of variety we are going to handle only one material, whereas in the case of hybrid we are in a position to handle minimum two. One is a female parent and one is a male parent. So two material we have to handle. and also we have to maintain the planting ratio also. Planting ratio means a ratio between the female parent and male parent. The ratio between the female parent and male parent. In order to have a better seed set in the female rows, we have to maintain adequate number of the male parent. So maintenance of adequate number of male parent is very important. Suppose that number of male parent is over and above, means again we are going to waste the land. Okay, so we try to accumulate that accommodate more space, or we try to accommodate more number of the female parent along with adequate number of the male parent. So then only that optimum hybrid yield will be realized. So here we have to follow that planting ratio. Planting ratio means the ratio between the female parent and male parent. Here that given example is that paddy. So in the case of paddy, we are following the planting ratio of 8:2. 8 means 8 number of the female rows and 2 number of the male rows. I already told you that cytoplasmic genetic male sterility system itself. So in the case of CGMS only, we are following that per rice. So it's a 3-line system. So for hybrid seed production purpose, we have to make a cross of A into R. So here that A is a female parent, R is a male parent. So here we have to maintain 8 rows of the A and 2 rows of the R. So here that given. So these two are the R lines, then followed by 8 numbers of the A line. Again we have to plant that 2 rows of the R line, then you have to continue 8 rows of the A. So like that entire field will be planted. So here we have to follow that line system of planting. So the same system is followed for the rest of that sorghum, maize and sunflower and all those crops. So here you can see that paddy. So these 2 rows are R, the remaining under A line, again 2 rows of that R line. So like that we are take up a planting. So this is for maize. So here that we are following the planting ratio of 6:2. So 6 number of female rows and 2 rows of the male. So here this 6 things are female, that is A, and the 2 rows, these 2 rows are the male. Here you can see the tassel appearance. So the tassel will be available only in the case of that male. So whereas that R line we are doing the T tasseling. So because of that, whatever the plants are here, everything is a T tasseled one. So totally divide up any tassel that will have that cob and silk alone. So from these plant only we are going to harvest that hybrid seeds. So here we have to follow this kind of planting systems, whereas in the case of a cotton, there we are following the system of the emasculation testing. The emasculation and testing system followed hybrid seed production operation. What we have to do is we have to follow that block system of the planting. So we have to raise that female parent at one block. That male parent will be raised in the another block. So in between that also we have to maintain that isolation distance. So this is a male block. So whatever the plants are available here, so all those things subjected to the emasculation, manually we are going to convert all the flowers into a female fertile and male sterile. Okay, so after emasculation we will collect the pollen from the selected male parent, so that will be used for testing. So by that way only we are producing hybrid in the case of cotton, tomato, brinjal and bendi and all. So here we have to follow that block system, whereas in the case of paddy we are following that line systems. So like this, whereas in the case of cotton we are following that block system. So female block separately and male block separately. So like that. So this will be vary from crops to crops. So accordingly we have to follow that agronomic principles and raise the crops. In addition to that, all around that hybrid seed production field we have to raise that R line material. So R line material, so this kind of raising of that male parent all along the hybrid seed production field is known as border rows. So raising of that male parent all along the 4 sides of that seed production field, like this, that R line will be planted all the 4 sides. So the purpose of raising of that R line all the 4 sides in the name of border row is, so this will act as a trap crop. If at all any nearby field is raised with other variety or any contaminants are there, means that pollen will be trapped by this particular the powder rose, trapped by this one. So by that way, that will prevent the entry of the contaminating pollen to our seed material, so to our seed crop. In addition to that, whatever that male plants are available here, that also will donate pollen to our seed crops. So these are all the advantage of raising of the powder rose. This is recommended only in the case of hybrid seed production. So this is an important operation. So for each and every crops, we have a optimum planting ratio. So as per the optimum planting ratio, we have to take up that planting. Then that roguing, so this is a very important operation, very specific to that seed crop. So by the way of roguing only, we can ensure that the genetic purity of our resultant seed material. Roguing is the removal of the possible contaminants from the field. So removal of the possible contaminants from the field. So both genetic and physical contaminants will be removed. So for this purpose, we have to get into the field and verify all the material, all the plant material available in our field. Okay, if at all anything found variant or deviant when compared to your seed crop, that material need to be removed. So that is a very important thing. So for easy and smooth operations, particularly for roguing, we have to leave some space. Here you can see some space is available. Through that space we can walk. Here also some space is available. This is normally known as a rogue space. After a certain number of rows of planting of your seed crop, you have to leave some space, so that that space will be used for easy entry, and you have to look at this direction, you have to inspect this way, then you have to enter in this way, you have to look at the crop in this, inspect, and if at all any contaminants are there, that we have to remove. So the possible contaminants are that volunteer plants that also comes under that genetic contaminants. Volunteer plants mean that the plant originated from that previous season crop. Say example, if you cultivate the crop in one particular piece of plant, that piece of plant is grown with other variety of the same crop in the previous season, means definitely that pollen material will be there, that will germinate. So that is a volunteer plants. That a volunteer plant is donated by the previous season crop. Okay, so that is definitely, that is a pollen contaminant or genetic contaminants we have to identify and remove. Then op type, this may be come along with your seeds. Okay, this may be come along with your seeds. Op type means other variety of the same crop. So this also a genetic contaminants, that also we have to remove. Then pollen shedders. Pollen shedder means, so this is a this terminology is related to that hybrid seed production operations. So in the hybrid seed production operation, we are going to have certain number of the A line, and then followed by we will have that R line. So R line means it's a male fertile one, A line means a male sterile. So if you declare this particular thing as a male sterile, means whatever the plants are there, everything should be male sterile nature. So male sterile means they are not able to produce viable pollen grain. If at all any plant with the pollen bearing ability in the A rows, means that is pollen shedders. Definitely that will spoil your entire hybrid seed production operations. So that and all we have to remove before pollination fertilization. So here the possible plant for occurrence in the A row is normally B. In the case of a 3-line system of seed multiplication, if at all any pollen bearing plants are recorded in the A row, that may be of B line, because for multiplication of that A line, what we are doing is we are doing A cross B. So by the way of A cross B, we are multiplying the A line. So if at all any that plant with the pollen bearing ability in the A, definitely that may be of that B. So because of that, the definition for pollen shedder is the presence of B line in a A line. Presence of B line in a A line. Okay. So if at all these kind of materials are there, that should be removed off, or otherwise that will that B line will produce a pollen and pollinate your A line. So that A line there will be a seed set, but it's not a hybrid. That may be of same material to multiply. So that pollen shedders we have to remove. Then setting tassels. Setting tassel means, a tassel means that is specific to that maize. The same thing. So that if at all any plant in the female rose with pollen with setting tassels, that is the tassel with viable pollen and dissemination of the pollen means that is known as setting tassels. So that should not be there. So that once you declare that particular thing is a female means all the plants should be properly T-tassel. So none of the plant able to produce that tassel, and the tassel not in a position to shed the pollen grain. So that also, so this and all through proper roguing only, proper field inspection and roguing, we have to remove that one. Similarly, partials also reported in the case of maize. So during T-tasseling, what the people they will do is a part of a tassel alone they will remove. So whatever the tassel that appeared outside the fruit leaf they will remove. Okay, so part of things will be remain within the leaf hole. The next day they will come out and they started to donate the pollen. So that kind of plants are normally known as a partial. So this is also a pollen contaminant. So this is specific to that maize. So these are all the genetic contaminants. Apart from that, wheat plants also there. That wheat plants also create some sort of problem to our seed crops, particularly that growing of that wheat, they may compete for food and all sort of the inputs applied in the field with our main crops. So that resulted in reduction in the yield. Some of the weeds normally serve as a host for survival of some pathogens, some insects. So once that pathogen or insect that will enter in our field with the help of that weeds, once it's enter means automatically the population will build up. The build up population will spoil the seed crop. So we have to remove that weed also. Then objectionable weeds. Some of the weeds are problem creating. So some of the weeds are get mixed with our seeds. Once that weeds are get mixed with our seed means the separation is not that much easy. So because of that, presence of some of the weeds in our field is strongly objected by the seed certification people. So Argemone mexicana, that and all, it's objectionable weeds. Similarly, that Abutilon indigum, it's objectionable weeds as far as that bendy and pulse is concerned, because that Abutilon indigum acts as an alternate course for that mosaic virus. In the absence of the pulses or bendy crop, the virus will survive in the Abutilon indigum. That's a weeds. Once that crop is raised in the field, so whatever that viruses are there in the Abutilon indigum, that will transfer to our seed crop. So like that, some of the problem creating weeds also there. So those seeds are classified under objectionable weed seed category. So we have to eradicate those materials also. And then plants with designated diseases, immediately after seeing that a plant with any designated diseases, that plant and all we have to remove that roguing operations. So that also very important. So by that way of roguing of the rogue out of that disease attacked and insect attacked plants, we can ensure that physical purity of our resultant seed material. So this and all comes under that roguing operation. So this is a very important operations. That field inspection also very important. If it is a certified seed production field or a foundation seed production field means that SCO, seed certification officer, that is AO working under that ADI seed certification, is designated as a seed certification officer. Seed certification officer will come for that field inspection at various stage of the growth and development. So that will number of inspection will vary from crops to crops. That and all we will discuss in detail during that seed certification related lecture. So they will come for that inspection. They will assess that field standard. Okay, through proper inspection they will assess that field standard. So if at all that field standard is maintained, then only they will permit you to continue that seed production operation, or otherwise they will ask you to convert your seed production field into a grain production. So that is a thing. So proper inspection is very important. And then another important crop management activity is concerned, supplementary pollination. So this is mainly recommended for the hybrids, particularly in the case of sunflower. Both for hybrid and variety seed production purpose, we have to follow that supplementary pollination work. Supplementary pollination work means we are going to ensure adequate pollen supply to the that is a female parent. I can show that diagram here. So this is a system of planting is followed in the case of rice. So here two number of that male line, that 8 number of that female line, then the 8 rows of the 2 rows of that A line, like that alternatively that will be planted. So through the process of natural process, whatever that pollens are available in the male, that will be transferred to, that will reach as the female parent. Similarly, that pollens available in the male parent, that will be reaches to the female parent. Then only there will be a seed set. If at all that wind flow direction is this way, there won't be any problem. So whatever that pollens are produced by the male parent, that will be transferred to the female parent. There will be a seed set. Suppose at the time of flowering the wind direction changed this way, what will happen at the time? So whatever that pollen produced by this particular male parent, that will be transferred to the male parent, and will be transferred to the male parent. There won't be any transfer of pollen from male to female. So at the time you can harvest only straw from this field. So this is a problem. So before taking up that planting of that male rows and female rows, you must get the advisory of the agrometeorology with reference to wind flow direction at the time of the flowering. So based on that wind flow directions, you have to take up a planting. Say example, during that flowering, that wind direction will be like this, means you can follow these systems. You can follow this system of a planting. This way you can plant. Suppose that wind direction going to change, means you have to follow these systems. Or A, like that you have to plant. Okay, the opposite way you have to plant. So this is very, very important. But that wind direction prediction and all somewhat a problem. So anyhow, we have to do some work in order to make that pollen, whatever that pollen is formed here, that should reach us the female row. That is a very, very important. So right now what we are recommending is manual shaking of the R line. We have to enter in the R line rows and hold the plant and shake the plant. So through shaking process we are ensuring the dispersal of the pollen, or otherwise we have to follow that rope pulling operations. Like here they are following that rope pulling. So 2 persons will stand like this. They will have a rope in their hands. The rope will be passed on this direction, because here that R line materials are there, here that A line materials are there. Once they pass that rope, so whatever that pollen is available in this particular plant, that will be disturbed. So they will pass the rope this way, again they will pass the rope this way. So this and all they will practice at the time of flowering during the morning time. So during the morning time only, that flower opening time, so at the time we have to pass the rope. So by that way also we can ensure that pollen dispersal. Or they can hold the rod. So by the way of using that rod, they can shake. By passing that rod this way, these directions, they can disturb that R line plants. By that way they can ensure that pollen dispersal. So that also they can follow. So this and all supplementary pollination work as far as that paddy is concerned. Whereas in the case of sunflower, I already told you, so that self-incompatibility is a major problem. Self-incompatibility means that whatever that pollen produced by this particular by these plants not able to pollinate stigma of the same flower. Okay, so in order to make this, in order to convert all the flowers into seeds, what we have to do is we have to do that head-to-head rubbing. Here you can see. So they are holding that one plant's floral head, that another plant's floral head. Both of them belongs to that same variety. Say example, this is a Kotu plant, means this also Kotu plants. So they will hold this one and they will go for rubbing of this one. So they will rub the ear heads. Okay. So through the process of rubbing, they are ensuring transfer of pollen to this ear head, from this to that. So we can convert all that flowers into seeds. That another mode is you can have a muslin cloth on your palm, that muslin cloth will be used for wrapping up that one. You have to rub this way, then the same muslin cloth will be used for wrapping up the another ear head. So the muslin cloth will retain that pollen grains at the time of wrapping up that another ear head, so that pollen will be delivered, pollen will be transferred. So this also another operations. That another operation is keeping up adequate number of beehives, because that honeybee is a very good agent with reference to transfer of the pollen from one plant to another plant. So for sunflower seed production field, we have to maintain 5 number of beehives. Again, mere maintenance of that beehive alone is not sufficient. We have to make that honeybee to visit that flowers. That also very very important. So for that purpose, we can apply that Jaggery solutions or Nira solution. If you apply that Jaggery solutions or Nira solutions, that will limit a very good pleasant odor will be there. So that odor will attract more number of pollinators. Once that pollinator started to visit our flowers, automatically that will take care of the transfer of the pollens. So by this way only we can increase the seed set. So these are all the things we have to follow under supplementary pollination work. So this is mainly recommended for hybrid seed production in almost all the crops. Particularly in the case of sunflower, both for varietal and hybrid seed productions, we have to follow this supplementary pollination work. Then regular routine weed control operations also we have to follow. We have to control that weeds, otherwise there will be a reduction in quantity of our materials. Some of the weeds are get mixed up with our seeds, that will cause us problem to physical purity maintenance. Nutrients also we have to apply adequate amount, so by that way we can ensure that physical and physiological quality of our resultant seed material. Similarly, that plant protection measures also we have to take, on water management activities also we have to take care. So these are all the regular routine process as far as the cultivation of any metal is concerned. Then we have to harvest that crop at appropriate maturity. That seed crop means we have to harvest the crop at the physiological maturity stage. So now we have machineries. Immediately after harvesting, we have to go for separation of the seed from mother plant. Then we have to dry the seeds. By that way we have to bring down the moisture content to the level of 12 to 14%. Then we can carry out the remaining operation. As far as the hybrid seed production plot harvesting is concerned, particularly in the case of paddy, there we will have that two material, A material, that is a A line material, and R line. From the A only we will harvest that hybrid, from the R we will harvest that only R line material. During that harvest, there is a chance for possibility of mixing up that hybrid with R line. To avoid that one, as and when that crop attain maturity, we have to harvest and remove that R line material first. R line and plant the powder rose also we are going to take up cultivation of the same R line. So that R line material we have to harvest and remove. After removal of that entire material of that R, then only we have to go for harvesting of that A line. So by that way we can avoid the occurrence of the mechanical admixture, because mechanical admixture also one of the major factor responsible for deterioration of the variety. After that separation of the mother plant, all those things we have to go for that cleaning and grading. So before at cleaning and grading, that thorough cleaning of the machineries is we have to ensure. We have to ensure that whatever the machines we are going to use for cleaning and grading of our seed, that should be free of any seed material. So that is very very important. Once everything is over, then we have to pack the seeds in a fresh canny that should be stacked on the wooden pallets like that. Things will be there made up of a wood. So over that we have to arrange the seed pack. So we have to do that stacking. So per stack we have to arrange 8 number of bags. So that is the optimum height. So per stacking we have to maintain 8 number of bags. Here you can see one, here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 number per stacking. And also we have to store the seeds in a cool and dry environment. At any cost we should not directly stack that, we should not directly place that seed bag on the concrete floor. Should be kept it on the wooden pallets. Okay. Similarly, once in 3 years we have to do that restacking. Whatever that materials are there in the top, that should be we have to put it in the down. So whatever the packs are there in the bottom, that should be in the top. Okay, so by that way we can avoid that static pressure related issues. Okay, so that is a thing. So this also we have to ensure. So if you want to prolong the shelf life of the seeds during storage for longer period of time, means that should be stored under cool and dry environments. So these are all the matters with reference to that agronomic principle is concerned. Then factors, so whatever so far we were discussed, so everything we can club into two category: biotic factors and abiotic factors. Under abiotic factors, two things are there. One is a physical contaminant and genetic contaminants. Genetic contaminant that causes problem with reference to genetic purity and physical purity. Physical contaminant that causes problem only with reference to that physical purity of our material. That abiotic factors, almost all your agronomy related things will become agroclimatic condition, soil conditions, season, cultural practices, seed storage environment. So all those things will come under that particular category. So with that we are completing both the genetic and agronomic principles related to that seed production. Thank you very much.